Morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Chris. And let me extend my own greetings, welcomes to everybody for coming out this morning. You want to get into the meat of the matter. Why security? I'm going to say a few things about why security. I think many of us who are in the room already have a very good understanding of why. But just to reiterate a few points. IT use is increasing every day, and it's just going to continue increasing. I believe we're actually just scratching the surface in terms of the amount of information that we're storing in digital form and the number of devices that are being connected to the internet. And as more and more data and information gets it gets stored in digital forms, what we're seeing is that the risk associated with the protection of that information and that data is also increasing. And as a result, we're actually getting to the, we're also getting to the point where that data and that information is actually proving to be the most valuable asset of the organization. We're moving away from the physical assets being of value to where digital assets are actually going to be in more value. And as a result of that, you know, we just have got to do what we can to protect those assets. The other thing is that our applications are moving more and more, not just into digital forms, but they're also moving into the cloud. And when they move into the cloud, that introduces yet more risk, new factors, and many of these factors, the risk factors, are unknown at this time. And as a result of the applications being more and more digitized or moving into the cloud, it also means that our ability in the companies to do work, to provide services to our customers, whether internal or external customers, is being put at risk. In some companies today, if the applications are not available, very little work can be done. Think 5, 10 years out, 15, 20. Is it going to increase or is it going to decrease? I think we all know it's going to increase. So the risk increases. And as a result, as IT professionals, we have to think in terms of what can we do to ensure that those applications are available to the business so that customers can be provided with the services that, that they've contracted with us to provide. Another thing to think about is that those who are out there creating the new threats and actually starting the attacks and benefiting from the attacks, legally, there's very little that can be done about them. Why? They typically are working in other countries. And if Jamaica had, even if Jamaica has some kind of extradition treaty or something like that with a country, you try to catch someone who actually was the perpetrator or the originator of an attack on your network, your website, or something like that. It's nearly impossible. I actually did, on a course that I did, go through a situation where, an actual real case where the FBI were actually able to get somebody out of an Eastern European country and got them prosecuted in the US. When you read what was required to do it, you realize it's going to be virtually impossible. So what that means is that unlike criminals in the physical world, where law enforcement can actually track them down and probably do something about them, in the virtual world, it's going to be virtually impossible to actually catch the people who are, the ones attacking the networks and benefiting from the attacks. So what that means is that the people who are going to be engaged in that type of activities are just going to increase. Terrorism organizations are also using IT attacks as ways to fund their own activities. A lot of ransomware is actually being perpetrated to fund terrorism. So what does that mean for us? It means that we have some serious challenges ahead. And we've got to really start doing something about it. CEOs and executives in Jamaica are very aware of the problems. They're very concerned. I have had CEOs sit with me and said, Teddy, my biggest concern at the moment is IT security. because they realize that if their networks are attacked, they actually get themselves into a situation, or their organizations will be in a situation where they cannot do any work. No work, no revenue. No revenue, no jobs. That also comes right back home to this room. And then, what then do our CEOs need, or our executives? They need advice. They need good, solid advice, what to do. Because they have grown up in a world that these threats did not exist. Truth is, most of us, including us in this room, also grew up, built our careers in an era where these threats didn't exist. So what then do we do? Well, I think you're taking the first steps. First step, educate yourself. Educate your teams. Continue to educate yourself and your teams, because the threats that we see today are actually just going to be, in a few years' time, I believe they'll actually seem trivial compared to the type of threats that we will see in another 5 to 10 years. So educate yourself. Then the next thing, engage the business. Engage business managers in discussions about these threats. Why do you do that? Because all of these things need to be done, because what we really are doing are protecting business assets. And engaging the business is important, because the business will help to determine what are the areas of risk that need the greatest protection, what are the areas of risk that you should prioritize. And having done that, then you can then go off and determine what are the, the priority items, what are the steps that need to be taken, and then make the recommendations, take action. It's really not much different from any other problem that we face. The difference is that we don't understand all the problems at this time. And that's why we're very happy to have you here this morning to, to avail yourself of information that John Gibson can provide for you today, as well as Marcel Smart. And you go away from this morning better knowledge, better equipped to help your organizations. So ladies and gentlemen, enjoy, learn, and let's do something about this. Thank you.